What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another news video. And as we know, the WWE is in full warfare mode with All Elite Wrestling, signing current stars to long-term contracts, and also reaching out to stars currently working the independent circuit. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at whether the WWE wants to bring back Enzo and Cass, and Punk returning to a wrestling ring in over 5 years. Enzo Amore and Big Cass were two talented performers who worked even better as a team, entertaining the WWE Universe with good matches, but they were better known for their incredible promos. Enzo and Cass have been gone from the WWE since 2018, and while they would be a welcome addition to the promotion, they are not without their baggage. The talented team made a huge splash in the WWE, parlaying their success on NXT into what looked would be a long and successful run in the WWE. Behind the scenes, both men began getting heat with their fellow wrestlers, with Amore reportedly kicked off a WWE touring bus by Roman Reigns. Things exploded when Amore was accused of sexual assault, but failed to notify the WWE of the allegations. The case was later dropped due to insufficient evidence. Enzo told Fox News how devastating his release was. "The news that I got let go by the WWE came as a real hit to me as a human. I felt like I put a good effort forth for 6 years to prove to a company that had the trust in me to hand me a microphone every night. That's the lifeblood of our company," Arndt solemnly reflected. "In that moment I was angry," he added. "I was angry as I'd ever been. But that subsided, and in time, I think that the thing that got me the most was the disappointment of the people that I potentially let down." Big Cass was later released as well, surprising many fans. Initially, it was rumored that the big man was released not following the script during an angle involving a little person impersonating Cass's opponent at the time, Daniel Bryan. Cass attacked the little person, defying the script, and was promptly fired. However, Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso reported in 2018 that Big Cass's unexpected release from WWE was due in large part to personal conduct issues. Multiple sources told Sports Illustrated that Cass was drinking the majority of the European tour and had attitude issues when drunk. Being intoxicated in public is one of the underlying reasons the WWE office was down on Cass. Big Cass later reflected on his WWE departure. "The firing didn't come as a shock to me. I was pretty out of control for a few months," Morrissey admitted. "The night after Money in the Bank, I had main evented the house show with Daniel Bryan. When I came back from the match, I was told, 'You have a meeting with Vince McMahon tomorrow at noon at the building,' and I knew then and there what was going to go down. We chatted for about an hour. It was a really good talk, and that was the end of my tenure with WWE," he recalled. "Before I left the room, Vince looked me in the eye and said, 'You walk out of this building with your head held high. You did nothing wrong.' So it's exactly what I did. It was unfortunate, but I was just not in a good place, and I had changed as a human being." Both men went through personal crises, with Enzo vowing never to return to wrestling, and Big Cass suffering a seizure related to his drinking. Cass recalls, "The amount of alcohol I was drinking every day should have killed me. I was drinking to a point where I should be dead, and I was told that in a Philadelphia hospital. At this point, I had been drinking every day for 6 months, heavily enough to kill me. So I was withdrawing pretty bad from alcohol that whole day. I didn't know anything about the subject. I didn't know how dangerous alcohol withdrawal could be. So I dropped and had a seizure in the middle of 1,500 people." However, miraculously, both returned to wrestling, with Enzo working as Enzo on the indie scene and Cass working as Kaz XL. Both men have had high-profile matches, with Enzo battling Brian Pillman Jr. and Cass fighting Jon Moxley more than once. In a recent interview with WrestleZone, Enzo discussed how he wanted to evolve as a performer. "So when you get booked against the Revival, when you get booked against the Hardy Boys, when you get booked with John Cena and he's calling it on the fly from the ring apron, and you get thrust into the fire, even on the main roster much like me and Big Cass did, thrown into a big spot, constantly being pushed in the direction that was appropriate for my character. Now, that meant that I didn't have to do a lot of wrestling. and I got to enjoy the fruits of my labor on the microphone a little too much by making my job very easy on things like European tours, where I went out and did pretty much the same song and dance most nights. Now when I played the character of Enzo, I didn't necessarily want to do anything other than what was necessary to stimulate the storyline and do the best in getting all that I needed to out of the match and my opponent and wherever my character was going. While Enzo and Big Cass never won tag team championships in NXT or on the main roster, they came very close. They proved a very popular tag team, largely due to both men's mic skills, although their in-ring talent was noticeable as well. In a move questioned by some fans, the WWE split the team up long before they had become stale, reportedly because the WWE saw promise in Cass as a single star. However, now it appears the WWE wants them back as a team to headline NXT. According to this week's edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the WWE wants Enzo and Cass back on NXT. No doubt part of the WWE's plan to boost NXT's star power for their battle against AEW's show on TNT. They mentioned, WWE has been in contact with Enzo and Cass about a surprise return to be top stars on the NXT brand. We don't know if they've accepted, but Cass really hasn't done much on the indie scene and has also made it clear he wants to get back. Enzo, who really knows, he says a lot of things, but his rap career isn't exactly going anywhere, and he also hasn't done much on the indie scene, but hasn't walked away from wrestling either. We don't know, but the obvious speculation is that either a return on the first show, or the way Vince thinks, I could see the third show being the favourite. The crowd in Orlando Live will probably go nuts if this happens, and keep in mind we only know if they've been talked to. Not that they've accepted, but I can also see a lot of social media negativity towards Enzo in NXT as a featured star. But it's a war and you want surprises, and there just aren't that many surprises out there. They're also looking to adding to writing staff for the show, so there will be one major philosophical difference because AEW is not hiring writers for their show. While that won't be a major factor in ratings, because that'll be determined by station and promotion, but as far as a head-to-head show battle each week, it will be a completely word-for-word scripted WWE-style show against an old-school version of segments laid out but not completely scripting. Both Enzo and Cass seem ready to return to the WWE and appear to have learned from the mistakes of their first run in the company. Both men would be a welcome addition to the WWE, and they would be best served on NXT as an anchor to draw in fans and help put over NXT stars. It's almost guaranteed that Vince McMahon would sign them just to keep them out of AEW, but Enzo and Cass could benefit the WWE if used right. They should also prove useful as a counter to AEW's perception among some as the hit promotion compared to a stale WWE. Unfortunately, several hours after reporting the news, Dave Meltzer tweeted, "WWE says no interest in Enzo and Cass at this time, so looks like that's not happening." But interestingly after that, Tom Colohue posted, "Things change pretty fast in this business." And Dave Meltzer replied, "Just wait." Just wait for what? Seems like a kind of Brad Shepard way of covering both ends. What do you guys think though? Also, for the first time in 5 years, CM Punk stepped back into a wrestling ring. That's if you don't believe that Punk was the one who mysteriously ran in at an indie show to deliver a GTS in the ring and run back out. But those getting hopeful that Punk dusts off his old wrestling types might be disappointed to know that this was just a promo for StarCast 3. During the promo, Punk complained the ropes hurt him, jokingly signifying his ring rust. Punk mentioned there is no script or storyline, just him coming to the event to talk to fans and hoping to avoid any sort of trouble. He also seemed to take a little shot at wrestlers who have pulled out of StarCast in the past, the likes of The Undertaker and Kurt Angle at the end of the video by saying, "I'm sorry to inform you all that I have to cancel my upcoming appearance at StarCast," Punk laughed. That's what everybody does, right? Everybody cancels. Well, I'm not cancelling because I do what I want. Nobody can tell me where to go, who to work for, who to sign autographs for, whether I have to smile to take pictures or not. I will smile because I'm actually going to be happy to see you, but I'm not going to cancel unlike everybody else who's ever done StarCast. I will be there and I'll see you Saturday. But there you have it guys, the scoop on whether Enzo and Big Cass are on their way back to the WWE. Would you like to see the duo back in the WWE, or are they better left unsigned? Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.